All right, so we're live on Facebook right now. Welcome everybody to 2017 Giving Tuesday New Mexico information session. For anybody who's trickling in a few minutes late, feel free to check yourselves in and find a seat. We also have people that are streaming on live, on Facebook Live right now, so hello to everybody on there. I want to acknowledge you all for taking the time out of the middle of your day to be here to learn about Giving Tuesday New Mexico, what it's about, why you should participate, how it might benefit your nonprofit. Please feel free throughout the presentation, whether you're in person or those of you on Facebook, to raise your hand, ask questions. We really want to answer the questions that you have, sort of diminish any sort of lingering concerns or questions about what it is. We really want you to feel empowered to move forward into running a really successful Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign this year. I'm Annie Sanchez. I'm Director of the Center for Nonprofit Excellence here at the United Way of Central New Mexico.
And I'm Amanda Douglas. I'm the Communications Manager for CNP.
Yeah, and so together Amanda and I are the people behind Giving Tuesday New Mexico this year. So what is Giving Tuesday New Mexico? Well, it essentially is a coalition of nonprofits throughout the state that are running Giving Tuesday campaigns. So Giving Tuesday, you'll see that there are constantly new initiatives being added. So Giving Tuesday New Mexico, how did it get started? How did we get here? This will be the third year. It really started very informally. So just a little glimpse at the timeline. Johanna Reddy, a colleague who has since left the state of New Mexico, she was an annual giving officer here in Albuquerque for a nonprofit. In October of 2015, she called me and said, hey, what do you think about doing a Giving Tuesday, Giving Tuesday Albuquerque, maybe a Giving Tuesday New Mexico initiative. I'm going to run a Giving Tuesday campaign for my nonprofit, and since you are the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, it makes sense to do something on a bigger scale. It's like, yeah, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Okay, sure. So we had no idea, we had no money to actually do it, so we were just operating the campaign within our own regular full-time jobs. We decided to set a really modest goal. Maybe 50 nonprofits throughout Albuquerque and maybe around the state would join us. And what joining us meant was having their names, their organization names listed on the Giving Tuesday New Mexico website as a participant. So that way, as donors, as community members, as fellow Giving Tuesday initiatives are getting excited and ramped up for the day of giving, they can see all of the nonprofits that are participating. So we set a goal of 50 participants. We bought the URL, GivingTuesdayNM.org. It operates off the Center for Nonprofit Excellence website. We did a little bit of radio, we did some TV marketing, and that was essentially it. We did get an Albuquerque mayoral proclamation that year for December 1st, 2015 was proclaimed Giving Tuesday New Mexico Day. So that was 2015. After year one, we decided that so the goal was 50 nonprofits to participate. We ended up having over 100 nonprofits from all over the state participating. There was, I believe it was 11 or 12 different communities, not just Albuquerque, that signed up and said, hey, yeah, we want our name on that list. We're going to proactively do a Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign. So because of the response from after year one, when we really had no idea what it was going to look like, we thought, let's see what we could do for year two. Maybe we can implement some technical infrastructure into the CNPE website so we could automate some of the sign up for the nonprofits that want to participate. Let's see about partnering with an organization that does online giving to make things easier for nonprofits that don't already have an online giving platform. But just doing a few tweaks to make it a little bit more streamlined. So year two, which was last year, November 29th, 2016, we ended up exceeding our goal again. We decided to raise it, the number of nonprofit participants, and we more than doubled it. So this year, the sort of the in-between, between November of 2016 and now November 2017, Johanna, as I mentioned, has since left the state, so now Giving Tuesday New Mexico entirely lives within CNPE. She and I were doing it as a partnership with promotion. I was handling all of the website and technical pieces, and together we were going out and doing some promotion and marketing, but she was really proactively doing the outreach to media and other nonprofits. So she's left, sadly. I wonder if she's watching. Hey, Johanna, if you're watching. Giving Tuesday National recognized that Giving Tuesday New Mexico was an exceptional civic campaign for a state with such a small geographic, or small population for such a large geographic space. They invited us, Amanda and I attended the National Leaders Summit in Baltimore back in July. There were maybe 50 of us there, roughly, representing all different states, all different types of campaigns, and it was really just a space to share what we've been doing, what our campaigns have looked like, and trying to find ways to scale them for the future. We were really grateful to be able to attend. So this year, it's coming up in just under 3 months, and we are really trying to, we are trying to basically maintain last year's numbers. I'll move into sort of the goals that we set and the overall outcomes and numbers over the last few years. But really this year is about maintaining what we did last year. Ideally, we would have more nonprofits participating and everybody would be raising 10 times as many dollars. And hopefully that's what happens. But as far as Giving Tuesday New Mexico is concerned and our internal capacity to support everybody that's participating, we want to maintain the number of participants, maintain the number of dollars raised, and actually increase the reporting from the participants. So that's the goal for this year. So just a little brief history. Before I continue, I'm curious if anybody in the room or anybody watching on Facebook has questions about how Giving Tuesday New Mexico came to be that I didn't cover, or other questions. Yeah, Kira, are there any questions? Okay. For everybody on Facebook, it would be really helpful for us to know who's watching. Kira Luna, CMPE's education manager, is monitoring the feed. So if you can just, in the comment box, include your name and the organization that you're with, that would be excellent. Thanks. So why should your nonprofit participate? I'm going to let Amanda take it from here, but really we want to know why you're here. Why are you even considering participating?
Okay, I apologize for the microphone. I promise I'm not pulling a diva move when I use this. But we really want the people on Facebook to be able to hear us, so hence the microphone. So why should you participate in Giving Tuesday New Mexico this year? Well, one, obviously, you have a very likely chance of raising money for your organization. So number one, raising funds. But also number two, it's a great way just to build awareness for your organization and to bring in more support for your organization, whether it's volunteer support or monetary support. It's just a really wonderful way to build awareness. So, do you all have any stories from your involvement with Giving Tuesday New Mexico last year, or any questions about your involvement this year?
I know there are a few people in the room who have participated in the past. I won't pick on you yet. Hopefully you'll just raise your hand and share. What has been your experience running a Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign? And for that matter, if you have not run a Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign but have run a Giving Tuesday campaign because you didn't know this coalition existed, what has that been like? So anybody on Facebook, anybody in the room?
I'll pass the mic to you.
Yeah, we'd love to hear why, and if nobody's willing to share their past experience, why are those of you that haven't done it, why are you here today? What are you hoping to get out of Giving Tuesday New Mexico this year? Please. I thought you were about to share.
I would. I guess so I'm Lori Duffy, and I'm with CareNet Pregnancy Center, and we did a Giving Tuesday campaign last year. And what I would say, you kind of hit the nail on the head for the reasons for doing it, but I don't think that we were well equipped to really market it the way that we should have. So I'm here today to just learn some more tips, some more ideas, some better ways of promoting what we do and getting it out there.
That's great.
Ditto. I'm Metra Bishop from the Regaining Balance Program for Women Veterans with PTSD, and we are also here both to raise funds for the program and also to get information out about the program. And again, we just didn't know how to do it last year or the year before, and so we're here to learn how to do it really well. Thank you.
Anybody else have something? Here we go, back to the room.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So I'm with Habitat for Humanity, and we did it last year, and it was our first semi-successful go at it. I think they've done it 2 years prior. didn't really do much. So we just kind of amping up this year what we did last year and kind of feel like, oh, we got a little money in, so let's try it again. And for us, it's kind of a kickoff to our end of year campaign. So it kind of gets that going, kind of gets people interested in us. And really, I don't know if it had much to do with Giving Tuesday or we just started earlier last year, but our end of year was really, really good. So hopefully this kind of helps amp that up.
I like knowing that you've used Giving Tuesday New Mexico to kick off your year-end giving. So there's different ways in which you can do it, where you're using it as a kickoff, or you're using it as the bookend to a giving campaign, a fundraising campaign. Is there anyone else in the room or on Facebook that is interested in sharing what it's been like for them? Okay, so welcome those of you that are joining us now. Please write your names on the board so we can get to know each other a little better. So aside from what we've just talked about, Amanda said, raising money, raising awareness, sort of the two obvious. That's what fundraising campaigns are about. We want people in the community to know what we're doing, right? And ideally they'll make contributions to our work. So as far as goals and outcomes are concerned for the initiative, for the Giving Tuesday New Mexico Coalition, as I mentioned, year one, we set a really modest goal. We wanted 50 nonprofits to participate. The outcome was 110 participants in 11 different communities, and they reported to us that they raised over $250,000. Last year, we ended up increasing the goal to 150 participants and thought, maybe these 150 nonprofits will raise $350,000. It was really sort of just like that. Like, what sort of goal can we set? What we know is that 217 signed up. They represented 28 different communities around the state. And the reporting total is relatively low, 300,000, but we know for a fact that there were participants who raised money who didn't report back to us. And we also know that there were people or organizations around the state who were running Giving Tuesday campaigns who were maybe unaware that Giving Tuesday New Mexico as an initiative, as a coalition existed. And we know that they raised lots of money. So it's, each organization is getting their own dollars. You're raising your own money for yourselves. The coalition is supporting you and providing resources and tools and added promotion, whether it be on TV, radio, Facebook Live, CMTE's website, which has a really high rate of traffic. It's a very, very busy website. So you're guaranteed some level of visibility. This year, as I mentioned, we're trying to maintain last year's goals, but the big piece is increasing participant reporting. So on that note, and in terms of reporting, for those of you that have participated in the past, I'm curious what your reporting experience has been like. Was it positive? Was it easy, simple? Did I provide you, Johanna and I provide you with the resources you needed to just simply click and report? Or was it confusing, or what? I'm curious what reporting has been like for you, those in the room that have participated in the past, or those that are streaming on Facebook.
It was easy.
It was easy?
Mm-hmm.
With my understanding, it was just an email. Did we just send you an email with our
Yes.
how many people donated and how much was donated?
That's exactly right. Yes. So that's exactly right. The reporting is we simply want to know how many dollars you raised and from out of how many donations. So if you had $500 in contributions and it came from 2 people, we want to know that. That way we can roll them into the bigger coalition totals. What we tried to do last year was send the day up on Giving Tuesday New Mexico, on that Tuesday after Thanksgiving. That was when you started to hear from us more frequently throughout the day to remind you to send totals, because it's a really active day on social media if you choose to operate your Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign that way. Whether you do it through social media or not is entirely up to you. But if you do, you'll see that it's crazy. It is like the biggest block party of the year. Everybody is so excited to be on social media, following, retweeting, sharing their totals, sharing photos of their staff in their offices, out, volunteers out in the community. Whatever it is that your organization does, it's exciting to see it on social media, and it's exciting for your fellow Giving Tuesday New Mexico participants to share what you're doing. It's this really wonderful day of sharing the way that we want our social media to be all year long. It's exactly that, all of that engagement, the likes, comments, and shares, that is happening on Giving Tuesday New Mexico. So just a little bit more data from last year. 2,685 is the number of visitors to the Giving Tuesday New Mexico page between October and December. It's usually, October is around the time when people start visiting the site to understand, learn information about it, sign up, whatnot. Because we're starting a little bit earlier this year, and because we were in Baltimore at the National Leaders Summit, there's been some activity on there already. But that's 2,600 people just on the Giving Tuesday New Mexico page. And then within that page, we'll show it to you in a little while what it looks like. All of the organizations that are participating are listed there, and there's links to your websites. The 62,000 number, that is the number of people reached on social media through Giving Tuesday New Mexico's Facebook and Twitter, and through CMPE's Facebook and Twitter. Because CMPE has been around for a while, we have a really dedicated base of followers. We don't have the highest number, but we have really engaged followers. So we use it to leverage Giving Tuesday New Mexico's presence. So what do you receive as a participant? You are going to get the resources and the marketing that Amanda and I are doing. So you will be listed on the website with a link directly to your website, whether it be to your homepage, which is ideal, and then ideally you have a donate button very prominent on your homepage. Some people like to embed the link to their donate page, which is something that it's your prerogative. Absolutely, we can link to whatever you want. The only caution with that is knowing whether or not that donate page is time limited. So for certain online giving platforms, if you click on the donate button, it takes you to an external donate page, and that is time-stamped. So unless that person who's just clicked is about to donate within the next 15 minutes or whatever the time is, that link expires. So if we embed that on our website to direct people to your website, they're going to end up on a dead link. So it's best to link to your website, and ideally there's a place on that page that's really prominent for donating. Local TV and radio, we will be doing more of that this year. The last couple of years, we have gone on a variety of different radio stations, both just sort of public radio, some more through like, we were on Coyote 102.5 the last 2 years in a row. Erica Viking loves to promote community work that's going on, so she has us on every year. We've gone on the Casa, Casa Fox 2, the morning show. We've done that a couple of years in a row, and a variety of other media outlets. We will, as I mentioned, promote you like crazy on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Those are the two most that we are the most active on. There is a Giving Tuesday New Mexico Instagram page. We decided to start that last year, and I don't know for sure if we're going to do it this year because it requires another person to do it, and you know what it's like. So we might just stick to Facebook and Twitter this year. That's likely what's going to happen. And then a participant toolkit. So this is culled information from the National Giving Tuesday toolkit that I've sort of refined and made more New Mexico specific. It's really just several pages of ideas. What you can do on social media, what you could do through a letter writing campaign, things that you should not forget to do. There's a real loose timeline in there. Things just to help you develop your timeline and your plan. So in addition to what you receive, the things that we need from you, as I mentioned before, is your numbers. We need your data. We want to know how many dollars you raised, whether it's $50 or $5 million. We want to know. We want to be able to say, Giving Tuesday New Mexico participants raised, and give an accurate reporting on how much you all raised, and then the number of individual donations. So the next few slides are examples of social media campaigns from the last couple of years. As I sort of flip through this, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda. I would love for you to share your story as a Chief Development Officer last year at your organization previously. And we'd love to hear some stories from you all.
All right, so I wasn't the Chief Development Officer, but I was the Resource Development Director. You gave me a promotion for Crossroads for Women, which is a nonprofit that's in downtown Albuquerque, and they work with women who are exiting incarceration, experiencing homelessness. and also their children. They're a supportive housing program. So I was with them for about 8.5 years. And I guess last year was the first time that I really became aware of Giving Tuesday New Mexico. And I only became aware of it because Clarissa Earl, hey Clarissa, if you're watching this, she was our administrative assistant at the time, and now she's the communications manager. But she came to me and she said, hey, there's this thing called Giving Tuesday New Mexico. You can raise money on a single day. Do you want to get involved? And I was like, no. I'm so busy. Everybody's so busy. It was the middle of the holidays. It was, I knew it was going to be at the busiest time of year for me. We were planning a bunch of holiday parties for the women and the kids. And there's just so much going on. And she was like, well, it looks really easy. She said, I could take the lead on this if you want. And I was like, yeah, for sure, do it. So, you know, that's what I want to stress about this, is the fact that it is actually easy. You just need to sign up, and then you promote it with as much time and energy as you have to give. She promoted it on Twitter. I promoted it on Facebook. And we raised about, I think, $3,600 on a single day. So that was more than we would have raised otherwise if we hadn't participated. So, yeah, it's so super easy.
For those of you that have participated, Baji, Mitra, Lori, who else in the room? Pardon, what was your name in the back? Kristen. Are there others in the room or that are watching on Facebook that have participated in Giving Tuesday New Mexico one of the last 2 years? Just show of hands, for that matter. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is there anybody on Facebook that's watching that you've participated? Any comments, Kira? No. Okay. So, is it Pamela? Are you with Habitat for Humanity as well?
No, I'm with Peace for Life International.
Okay. Amanda's going to bring you the mic. I'd like to know if you can share whether you were running the campaign or you have. Because sometimes you inherit something that existed the previous year, so you're trying to decide, does it make sense for me to do it the same? What has your experience been like?
I've been part of the campaign for the last couple of years. I'm the IT manager for Wings, and so I try to do the promoting on Facebook and via email and stuff. It's been a good experience. I can't remember off the top of my head how much we've raised. I think last year was close to 2,000. Which was really great. Sure. And this year we're going to try to push it more and get started earlier.
Okay, that's great. So the numbers that we're sharing, you know, Wings for Life raised around 2,000. Crossroads for Women raised a little over 3,000. I know there's a few that have raised like in the hundreds. CMPE, the interesting thing has been running the Giving Tuesday New Mexico initiative, directing it, providing the tools for all the organizations around the state to operate their own. So the first year, that's all that it was about. That was our involvement. Then last year, when I became director of the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, it dawned on me in the craziness of all of it that I should be running a Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign for my work. So it was tricky to figure out how to message because we were leveraging CMPE's Facebook and social media following and our newsletter to promote Giving Tuesday New Mexico as an initiative for the entire state. So I'm in the process of figuring out how to do it better this year. And we ended up raising, I think it was $700, $800 from like 26 different people, which the idea behind reporting dollars and reporting number of donations is really interesting. Somebody might raise $2,000 from one donor. I think it was 26 people, mostly nonprofit staff, who understand why CMPE exists. Our whole thing is that we are here for you. We're providing you with the tools and resources you need. And there was something about that really resonated with our fellow nonprofit professionals who took the time and energy to click and donate whatever amount they could to our work, which was, it's giving me goosebumps. It was so humbling, it was really special. I had set an arbitrary goal, like maybe we'll raise $2,000. I don't even know where I would grab that number from. The $700 from 26 people I think was more impactful for me in my heart and in the work that we do than having raised $2,000 from one person. Granted, I would have been so grateful if somebody was so generous to give $2,000, but it was a really interesting sort of eye-opener for me. So I'm together with Amanda and Kara, we're going to be looking at how we sort of market our Giving Tuesday work this year. Yes, Baji.
I can't remember exactly how many donors and money that we accessed, but it was small. And so echoing some of the other comments earlier, I think one of my goals is to get started earlier. Last year we were just learning the ropes, and so now we understand the ropes a little bit better, and we'll be able to jump into promoting it earlier and in a variety of different ways. So that's it's really good to be here and hear, you know, other people with similar goals and hear about successful and all these different ways to promote it.
Right. Thank you for that. So the other thing, that some of the other organizations that did report to us, so I'm saying, you know, CMPE raised $700, Crossroads raised around $3,000. There were some organizations like Prosperity Works. Sarah Stinnett, if you're watching, hey, she was going to be here today but had an appointment she had to miss. Prosperity Works raised over $20,000. I know Steelbridge, formerly Albuquerque Rescue Mission, where Johanna was the VP of Strategy and Development, they raised over $30,000. And it's because they were really leaning on their boards of directors. At least I know that's true for Steelbridge. I'm not 100% sure what Prosperity Works' strategy was. I'm looking forward to hearing from Sarah how she did it. Yes, oh, Kira's got a comment.
So Joanna's sharing that Steelbridge used matching gifts as well.
Ah, yes. Oh, hey, Johanna. So matching gifts, yeah. So deciding how you're going to run your campaign is entirely up to you. For a lot of you that this is the first year for you, you're probably trying to decide, do I just entirely lean on social media and see what happens? Like throw spaghetti at the wall, see if it sticks, and then learn from that to build on it for the following year. That's totally an option. That's essentially what Crossroads did. That's essentially what CMPE did. I reached out to my advisory board, and we used our newsletter and our regular social media. This year, knowing the individual donors who gave to CMPE's work last year, not necessarily through Giving Tuesday New Mexico, definitely them, but others, I'm going to be employing a letter, like an actual old-fashioned letter, you know, annual campaign in that way. Oh. Turn that off. Sorry for those of you that are on Facebook that are having a hard time hearing. Let's see if is that better? Okay. I just turned it back on. So, oh yes, Lori.
When people reported, did you get any indication of how many people actually waited for Giving Tuesday to give their gifts, or how many made their donations prior to that?
I don't have hard, data on that. I do know that some, who is it? I think it was New Day. I believe that they used Giving Tuesday New Mexico as the bookend. So they were raising money. They're probably raising money right now. And then that would be the end. They had a goal set, and that's when they wanted to achieve it by. So it's totally up to you. It's, what are your donors? How do they give? What are their their giving habits? Is it a bunch of millennials? Would they rather do it from their phone when they see it on Facebook or when they see the email come from you? Or are you working with an older demographic that really likes to be informed, get a letter in the mail? Who are they? Who are the people that you're trying to reach out to? And I think it's really important that you meet them where they are, rather than try and impose something brand new and crazy on them. They might not know Facebook or Twitter, and that's that is a safe and secure way to be connecting, right? There's probably not a lot of people that feel that way, but there are some. So just how are people already giving? And if you don't have individual donors, I know there are some organizations that are really reliant on federal grants and other streams of funding that really don't have a solid individual donor base. So what makes sense for the work that you do? Who are the people that you're trying to reach? Who are you trying to engage? Because yes, it's about raising money, but it's about bringing them into your work, finding that intersection, that heart connection for them for the work that you do. So yes, Susan.
Any follow-up on those 27 people? Do you know if they're still giving, or was that a one-time deal?
I would say probably there was 27. There's maybe 20% of them that have given again. Oh, okay. And I am on my to-do list this week is to finish out some letters and get them out early next week.
20% ain't bad.
It's really not. It's really not. And even if they're small gifts, they're really important to what we do. Yes, Kira.
Can you repeat the question so they can hear?
Yes,
when you answer?
Susan asked if the 27 donors that gave to CMPE's work last year, if they've given again. And of those 27, it was about 15 or 20% of them that have given a second gift. Others have not, but I haven't done a very good job of continuing to engage them in our work. So it's everyone's challenge. There was a question back there. Yes,
Yeah,
Heather.
just kind of adding on to that, is in people's experience or in the reporting, how many of the donations came from kind of your set core group of donors versus pulling in new folks that might not have been aware?
That's a great question. Somebody in the room asked, of the individual donors that gave to our campaign, or those of us that have run campaigns in the past, how many of those donors were new versus already existent established donors? For CMPE, of the 27, I think maybe 10 or 15% were existing donors. So the bulk of them had never given to us before, but were very familiar with us, that have engaged with us in a variety of other ways, but have never actively made a contribution prior. So just some other past Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaigns. This here is an example of the Unselfie campaign, which is a national campaign, social media campaign. It's exactly what it indicates that it is. It's like the opposite of a selfie. Rather than taking a picture of yourself just to promote on social media, it's about taking a picture of yourself saying what and why you give to your community, whether it's your time, your money, whatever it might be. And so a variety of organizations have been engaging in that in Unselfie campaigns. And it's a really nice complement to Giving Tuesday New Mexico. It's a great way. You could tweet 50 times in one day with all different unselfies, and it's interesting to look at. Whereas if you're tweeting 50 times or posting on Facebook 10 times a day, and it's just content, they're going to get exhausted and fatigued. They don't want to see that. But it's fun to see different Unselfie campaigns. Paws and Stripes did a really good job the last 2 years. They had in their office a whiteboard that they drew like a thought bubble on, and then their dogs that they work with, they would put a dog in front of the whiteboard and write different reasons why they would give, which was cute. So the Unselfie Template, which you can do whatever you want. You can just write it on the back of a piece of paper. We created it so that way you have it if you want it. It's all of these materials, including this slideshow, are on the Giving Tuesday New Mexico website, which is GivingTuesdayNM.org, which takes you to the Center for Nonprofit Excellence website, specifically to the Giving Tuesday New Mexico page. But the URL is GivingTuesdayNM.org. Hashtags. I'm curious, a show of hands, who is not really clear what the point of a hashtag is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, totally fair. So think a hashtag is essentially a file folder. If you drop a piece of paper on your desk that's in an ocean of papers, where are you going to find that paper? It's going to take you forever to find it. So hashtag Giving Tuesday, there, if you click on that, whether you're on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram, you're going to see millions of posts. It's from people all over the country, all over the world. If you add the NM, that's how we can find you. Giving Tuesday NM is our file folder on social media. There is no reason why you can't use both hashtags, and you should. That way the Giving Tuesday international people can see you and find you and like and retweet, and that's always really fun. But for the coalition to be able to find each other, you've got to add the NM. Not New Mexico spelled out. It doesn't matter, it's not case sensitive, but hashtag Giving Tuesday NM is how we will find you. It's a file folder. So how do you, if you decide you want to join the coalition, what do? Sign up, first of all. If you go to our website, GivingTuesdayNM.org, we'll do, in a moment, we'll flip over so you can see what the page looks like. There's like a numbered list of things to do to join. Number 1 is to click the link to sign up, and it'll take you to a little web form. We just need your name, your organization, the community that you're located in, and you have to click the little button, Sign Us Up, because that web form also serves as a communication tool for anyone interested in asking questions about Giving Tuesday New Mexico. So click the little Sign Us Up button, and if you have any questions or comments, you can use that message box. You can leave it blank, but if you just simply put your name, your organization, click Sign Us Up, your organization will be added to the website. The participant toolkit, it's there. You can download that. The logo that we've been showing with the state of New Mexico with the Giving Tuesday heart on it, that is available in a couple of different formats and colors. The links are there. You can download them, use them however you want. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. You can, augment them however you choose. Start informing your donors, figuring out what your plan is. Start communicating what you're doing so that way you're not just hitting them, 3 weeks before that you're running a social media, fundraising campaign. Start following Giving Tuesday New Mexico on social media. As I mentioned, we may nix Instagram just because it just is that much more work, but Facebook and Twitter, we are definitely active on there. So follow us, we'll follow you, start posting, and don't forget to use the hashtag, don't forget to include the NM, and we'll start sharing, cross-sharing your posts. Questions? Yes? 1 second.
I would like anybody's input on this. The big fundraiser for my organization is November 11th, and then this is the 28th. It's like, do we?
How do you leverage?
Yeah.
It is a tricky time.
Without inundating everybody with more information than they'd ever want.
What is the fundraiser on the 11th? What type of event?
It's a matanza. It was a silent auction. It's with Cornucopia Adult Daycare Service.
Sure.
But it's a matanza silent auction. We have a beer garden this year.
And it's the big fundraiser. Everybody
It's
knows.
big
That's
fundraiser, yeah.
Did you have a?
I just want to suggest that
Please.
you can use this as an online format to reach the people that aren't here, and use your big one for the more local people. Because I'm sure there's people that are in Farmington and Roswell and that can't come for that, but still want to participate. So this might be a way for them to
thank
tie.
you.
So that we
Great
can still
idea.
do both, but not be overwhelmed with, focusing too much on both.
That's a great idea. For those of you on Facebook that didn't hear, somebody asked, she has a fundraiser, the annual fundraiser is on November 11th. How do they run their big event on November 11th and not confuse people with Giving Tuesday New Mexico that's happening, 12 days later? And there was somebody offered the suggestion that they could use Giving Tuesday New Mexico as a way to reach people who can't be at the event on November 11th, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think another thing you could do is have a really time-limited, really short window for your Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign, which could be November 12th to November 28th. Whatever goal you set for your fundraiser, if you don't reach it, we've only got $1,200 more to raise. Let's use this 11 days to get there. I think that's a great way you could do it. Yeah, in the back, Chris?
Yeah. What do you guys suggest is a good time to start? When is a good time to start your campaign? How early do you want to start?
It depends on who you're trying to reach and what the goal is. It's so dependent. I think so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of everything else that's going on in the community on a regular basis, the work that you're doing on a regular basis. I think it's really important to have it a little bit more narrow than wide. It wouldn't make sense to, I don't necessarily think, to start running a Giving Tuesday New Mexico campaign in March when Giving Tuesday is the day after Thanksgiving. The whole idea behind it being the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, is with all of the national craze around shopping, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's all consumer driven, raising, spending money for the holidays. Understandably, everybody has people that they're buying gifts for. But the 92nd Street Y in New York City, who founded Giving Tuesday, I think this is 7 years ago now, maybe 8 years this year. It was really as like the antidote to all of the consumerism in shopping. How about everybody that's spending money on stuff, also think about how they give. Like think holding some to give to the causes that they care about. So I think it's important you could use that window to, I think it should be closer to the holidays. Like the fall is a good time. A lot of organizations will use it as their end of year giving campaign. I wouldn't do it much earlier. I wouldn't start it much earlier than, honestly, than September, August, maybe, depending on what you're trying to raise. If it's going to be your capital campaign, you're trying to raise, $250,000 for something, that's something you would start communicating about much sooner. But if you want to raise $2,500 for X, can we do it within 3 months? And then you could potentially be raising all that time, and then you're trying to hit your goal by the 29th of November, or if it's a smaller amount, or if it's that amount and you have really engaged donors, you might say, we're so excited, this is the thing we're trying to raise money for, this day of giving, it's a huge deal around the world, and there's a lot of excitement around giving on that day, so we want you to give, but hold on, don't give until that day, and encourage people to be a part of the excitement and try and get them, start informing them in the fall. But really, and if it was going to be really specific to the day of giving, you want them to give on November 29th this year, I wouldn't start communicating about it until sort of maybe 2 months out. So now, we're coming up on it, if that is helpful. Yeah, Susan.
Well, I just had a thought.
Somebody had an epiphany.
I just had a thought that since it's so close to Christmas, here is an opportunity to give to an organization, and we will let somebody know that you've given in their name as a gift.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea too. We're going to have another opportunity to do more Q&A. We've gone a few minutes over our allot. I'm going to turn it over though to Josiah Botello, who is with AppPay, who is a Giving Tuesday New Mexico partner. This is the second year in a row. He's going to talk about AppPay, how they can support your organization and what the partnership looks like. And then we'll come back where you can ask more questions.
All right, how are you guys doing? You doing all right? All right, we're almost done here. Really quick, how many of you have ever heard of AppPay before? All right, that's a lot of you, that's good. One thing that I'm going to say right at the beginning of this, and probably repeat the whole time, and again afterwards, is ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask, you will not receive. That's the biggest thing for nonprofits, churches, everybody. We sometimes as humans don't like to beg, don't like to ask, don't like to do stuff like that. That's how nonprofits and organizations die, is because they get complacent where they're at and they're afraid to ask. That's what nonprofit, a lot of us, all we thrive on is money that comes into our organization. That's it. That's the way we do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people out there that have an older following that will say, oh, they won't use online. They won't use text. In a not so harsh way, those people are eventually going to pass on. And you're going to be left with the burden of not receiving donations anymore because you didn't want to jump to that next level. So that's kind of what we're here for. This is our second year partnering and trying to help out with New Mexico raising money for their organization. What we do and what we're going to do is we offer an online giving solution for this event. Everybody in here, absolutely, positively, whether it's with AppPay, whether it's with somebody else, should be using some sort of online giving. Everybody in here absolutely positively should be using Facebook or Twitter. Nowadays, it's a lot easier for nonprofits to go out and get money. Could you imagine back in the day when you didn't have, look at me, I'm on TV right now, I'm on Facebook right now. Everybody can go check me out. Can you imagine those days when you didn't have that, how hard it was to thrive as an organization? Nowadays, to get your name out there, it's super easy, super simple. Put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, and repeat, 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 repeat. That's how you get people to kind of come to your organization. So what we do is we offer an online solution that we give to you guys for free because we're partnering with them. Is there anybody in here that does use AppPay? All right. 3 really, really cool people. Everybody else in here? You guys are still cool, but we're going to try to make you cooler. With AppPay, we've done a lot of changes. I don't know if any of you have used us before. I know a lot of you have heard about us. Maybe you saw us. We were just at the conference the other day, and maybe you didn't approach because you were intimidated by my handsome buffness that was there, and you guys said, I'm not going to go there. But what we are is an organization that's going to help you guys out. We believe, look, there's a lot of crazy things that's said about Albuquerque on the news. There's a lot of crazy things about New Mexico, all together. Any state you go out there, there's craziness. One thing that I've learned working in this fundraising business is that the people of Albuquerque, the people of New Mexico, are some of the most generous people that I have ever met. But once again, you have to ask for it. So these things that these ladies are telling you about Twitter and Facebook, use it. Get out there. Ask for it, because if not, it's not going to come to you. What we're going to offer you guys, for those of you that don't, and how many of you use PayPal in here? All right, good job. We're gonna get you to switch. PayPal, awesome, cool. It does its job. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go a step further and offer a little bit more than PayPal does for you guys. This also gives you the chance to kind of move into something different. PayPal did its job. They received donations. They're awesome. They're cool. What we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna offer you a free online giving page that you can customize to make it look like your organization. We're gonna throw in recurring donations, which I think is huge. This is the time of year right now to throw a recurring donation option on your pages to get those people to be giving every month. Every month is when you want them to give. Not just this one time. You want to capture them and give every single year. $10 a month goes a long way. PayPal, now they charge for that. So those of you that have it and you say, hey, we want to go, we're going to throw in that recurring for you guys. Another thing that we're going to do is online, if you go look at our pricing page, it is a little bit of a higher transaction rate. For those that sign up through the New Mexico, Giving Tuesday New Mexico, we're going to lower that. We're going to take it down a little bit from what's online, and we're going to put it a little bit lower. Another thing that we're also going to do that PayPal and certain other organizations don't offer is a thermometer. A thermometer is pretty key and pretty huge when raising money. It's another visual that people like to see that I think will help your organization out. One thing that I recommend that everybody in here does for Giving Tuesday is set a goal. Don't just say, we're going to go in there and just get as much money as we can. Set a goal, and set a lofty high goal. A goal that you might think you cannot reach. That if you reach that goal, oh, we did awesome. But if you don't reach that goal, that's okay. We're going to do that for two reasons. One, we're going to put it out there and we're going to set a goal for us. We're going to set a goal for your organization and try to strive for that. Two, what this allows is for the people, the donors, to see a goal that wants to be met. If your goal, let's say for Giving Tuesday, is $5,000, you know, that's a pretty big goal. And you're putting your thermometer out there and people see that you have 3,500, you're more likely for people to try to get you to that 5,000 mark than if you did not have a thermometer out there. So that's another thing that we're going to throw out there. I heard some questions about reporting. Reporting now has gotten a lot easier with AppPay. You're going to build a campaign specifically for Giving Tuesday. And in that campaign, you will easily be able to see how much money you raised for that specific campaign. So those are the things that we're going to partner with and we're going to offer to you guys. It's as easy as going on the website, finding our link, clicking it, signing up, you're good to go. You put all your information in and you can create your own page that looks like your organization. It has your feel, it has your look, it has your logo, it has your picture if you want a picture on there. It has your feel to it. Another thing that I'm going to mention, this is totally up to you guys, you don't have to, but we also do text to give as well. If you are not using text to give in your organization, I believe you're also missing out on some extra money that could come in. Yes, it does cost. I'm sorry, nobody likes to pay. But it's an option for you guys to say, hey, we want to reach those new millennials out there and we want text to give. Nobody nowadays carries cash and checks anymore. Nobody. I mean, there's a few people that'll carry them in their pockets and stuff like that, but nobody will have a cash or check anymore. Those days are gone. Those days are over with. To be able to pull out your phone now and be able to give through your phone through a text to give number that's dedicated strictly to your organization is huge. So really quick, I want everybody, because this is going to do two things. One, it's going to show you our text to give, and two, it's going to show you what your giving page is going to look like if somebody clicks on it through mobile. So really quick, everybody get out your phone. I know everybody here has one. And I'm going to give you guys a number to text. So you're going to text the number 505 207 0389. So 505 207 0389. And you're going to send the word test. T-E-S-T. Test.
207?
Right. 505 207 0389. Right. That's going to be my fancy test account. What you're going to see that you get back is a link. That link is going to send you to a page. This page that you're seeing right there on your phone is going to be similar to the exact page that you guys would receive through AppPay. It has some options on there. If you guys click an amount, go ahead and click an amount, you're going to see that it has a drop-down menu. You guys can ask for specific needs. You can do a little shout-out. I heard somebody else say a while ago, somebody can give on behalf of somebody. You can have a field in there for shout-outs and say, hey, I want to shout out this person. I'm giving on behalf of this person. You guys can ask for that specific information. In return, you get all the reporting for that. Just to kind of let you guys know, a lot of people in Albuquerque do use us for credibility. I mean, Joy Junction, Roadrunner, Pause and Strides, Wings back there uses us. I know they use us all the time. So there's a lot of organizations here in Albuquerque that use us. Does anybody really quick have any questions?
We used AppPay for Giving Tuesday last year. Can we just continue using that same account because we also made the little website and everything on it?
So she asked if you signed up with AppPay last year and can you use that same one again? No. If you did not last year upgrade and purchase into an AppPay account and you did not and you're not currently using it, you will have to sign up for a new one. But I promise you it's also for the better. You're going to have our old version. Everybody that's signing up now is going to get our new version, which has the look that you're seeing right there, which has the feel to it, which has the capabilities of doing a lot of other stuff. Another thing that's on that link, or whether you put it on Facebook or whether you do it through text-to-give or whatever, is I don't know if you guys saw it, but on the bottom of that page is a new feature that we just put out where it gives the option for the donor to cover the processing fee. So everybody nowadays is like, oh yeah, but we have to pay the processing fee. That's life. That we're gonna have to pay that. Walmart pays that when you go use your credit card. But now there's an option on there to be able to ask the donor if they would like to cover that processing fee as well. So if they donate $100, you're going to get the full 100 because they're basically covering the fee for you that's going to be taken out. So that's another option and another little feature that's on there. Anybody else have any other questions?
How does the organization actually get the money that comes to you?
She asked how the organization gets the money. It's always about the money. Just kidding. The organization would, when they get an AppPay account, all they do is link their bank account information to it, and it gets transferred easily into your bank account. You don't have to do anything. It gets automatically transferred into your organization's bank account.
Okay. Do you have business cards, and what is the processing fee?
I do have business cards. And the processing fee that you guys are going to get right now is 2.75% plus 30 cents per transaction. So that's the processing fee. I think, other places, like I said, like PayPal, like 2.5 or something like that. But once again, you're getting Thermometer, you're getting recurring thrown in there, you're getting custom fields that you can put in there, all that good stuff.
So 2.75% plus
30 cents per transaction.
Josiah, I think a few people didn't get the number for the test. Will you repeat it one more time?
Yeah, if you want to try it out and you guys can take it back to your organizations and use it too, it's 505 207 0389. What we also do, and the cool thing about joining with AppPay, and even if you don't, we do it still anyway, is the big thermometer that's going around. If you ever looked last year on the website, on the Giving Tuesday New Mexico website, you probably saw a huge thermometer. What we do is if you sign up for AppPay, your funds already go to your own personal thermometer plus go to the big thermometer. That's how we kind of keep track and get people excited.
So we have a question online. Is the 30 cents per transaction also for text to give? Or is there a different fee?
If you want text to give, there is an upfront fee that we will also, if anybody in here wants to sign up because of Giving Tuesday New Mexico, we will lower that fee. So we will lower that fee $100. Right now it's $3.99 a whole year. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, you go look at other text to give companies, that's super cheap. So it's $3.99 right now. We will take $100 off of that if you sign up for the Giving Tuesday New Mexico for text to give. You will get that throughout a whole year. The transaction rate also does go down. It's a 2.5% plus 30 cents instead of a 2.75. So those are like the kind of things right there for the text to give portion. I really stress text to give is awesome. If you guys don't have text to give, it's a big piece. I heard an event a while ago. If you're having an event, you want to use text to give. I'm telling you right now. Because, like I said, you're reaching those people that we're emotional givers. If you give them a good story, if you give them a good feel story, they're going to want to donate right then and right now. But if they don't have cash or a check, they might not be able to. Then they'll go home, they'll say, yeah, I'm going to send you a check. Guess what happens? 9 out of 10 times, you do not get that check because they go home and they forget about it. You want to capture people's money right then and right there. So if you have events and all that other stuff, that's my plug-in for the sales part of it. But you will also get exactly everything that I covered a while ago. Online donation form that you can customize, that you can make it look, a thermometer, all that good stuff. And like I said, if anybody has any more questions, does anybody have any more really quick?
How do we sign up for text to give?
If you want text to give, come see me. Or the Facebook people can comment on there for me to contact them, and I'll contact them somehow.
Or you'll give them a business card.
Or I'll give them a business card through Facebook. But yeah, anybody in here want to talk to me afterwards, I'll be here. We can talk about, certain things like that and go from there. Any more questions? No Facebook questions? No? Good?
You're saying that you could produce a web page, and then how do you connect that web page with my website?
So basically what you would do is you would take that URL that it creates. It creates a URL that you would put on Facebook, that you could put on Twitter, you would throw it out there, people give, goes to your page. For your website, a lot of you in here probably have like web designers or somebody that runs your website. You would basically tell that person, here's the URL link I want to give for my donate page. If they click donate, it goes to that specific page. That's pretty much how you would do it.
So they can disconnect it from PayPal and,
Correct.
and connect it to you.
Correct.
I was going to suggest, since we use AppPay at Wings for Life International, if you go to wingsforlifeinternational.org, you will be able to see our donate button on the top left and see how we utilize it. It's very simple and very user-friendly.
So she just said, if you go to wingsforlife.org, you can kind of see an example of how they use their donate section with AppPay, and then you can go off of that. Anybody else? Back to the wonderful Annie.
So thank you, Josiah. So the thing about the giving thermometer that he is talking about, if you choose, just for the sake of this info session, if you choose not to go with AppPay, that's where the reporting comes. Even like I just can't stress it enough that we will still feed totals from organizations that are not using AppPay. Josiah heard from me. I think I was emailing him every single hour. I was trying to do. I have this ginormous spreadsheet from last year tracking what I already reported to him. So for anybody who wasn't using AppPay, who was participating in Giving Tuesday New Mexico, who reported to me throughout the day, I would log it and then I would send an email to Josiah, and then he would manually on the back end add it to the thermometer that was on the GivingTuesdayNewMexico.org page. So however you choose to raise your dollars online, whether it's through AppPay, it'll automatically get captured in the thermometer. If you don't, that's where the reporting comes in. If you use AppPay, I don't necessarily need your totals for the thermometer, but it would be nice at the end. This is something that didn't happen last year that I want to implement this year, is a reporting, like a final reporting total from everybody, so we can look and see who raised what did it look like, what communities were giving the most, and then we can take that data and decide what to do with it for next year. So if you don't use AppPay for your online giving, it's even more reason for you to report. We are essentially out of time right now, but I wanted to take a quick minute. Kira, would you mind, are there more questions? Leave it going on Facebook. For those of you that are still with us, thanks for being with us. If you have to go, that's all right. What I want to do is just do a quick look at the Giving Tuesday New Mexico page, which Kira will pull up, and then we've also pulled up the AppPay sign-up page, just so you can see what it looks like. So Giving Tuesday New Mexico. So this is, when you type in GivingTuesdayNM.org, you come here, which is the Center for Nonprofit Excellence website. If you come to the Center for Nonprofit Excellence website, you can get to this page under the Get Involved tab in the upper right. So just sort of scroll down a little. So a little history about what Giving Tuesday New Mexico is. This is a link to the Giving Tuesday National website. Why should your nonprofit participate? Some results. And then looking for the red header, join the coalition, step by step what to do. So click sign up as a 2017 participant. 2016 participants, 2015 participants will not automatically be listed as 2017 participants this year. The reason is we don't know who, like, I don't want to say that I don't want to inflate our numbers if an organization is not going to participate just because they did last year. So if you signed up last year, awesome. If you want to do it again this year, please come and click the form. There's the link to the toolkit, the logos. Inform your donors, it's linked, it takes you to there's a PDF with some email, kind of sample email language. Something that I want to point out that was shared with us, so last year when we paid to have the web form built, which that sign up link goes to, when we paid to do a few technical infrastructure upgrades, the people that funded it, the organizations that funded it were P&M Resource Foundation, Wells Fargo, and the Grant Plan. And they were generous enough to give us some money so we could do these upgrades. Something that was shared with us with those funders, from those funders, was that the previous year, 2015, when we had no technical infrastructure, nonprofits that were participating in Giving Tuesday New Mexico we had put out some sample language for communicating to funders and donors. There were multiple New Mexico nonprofit organizations that were just basically copying and pasting those letters and sending them out. Don't do that. It is meant to be a guide. Use your own language. It's really just meant to get the juices flowing. This is a really small community, the state of New Mexico. Everybody knows everybody. The funders know each other. Donors know each other. You let the words are there. I mean, don't even look at it if you are worried you might end up just copying it and pasting it verbatim. Please don't do that. It's a disservice to the work that you do. Use your own words, tweak it however you choose, but that's where that links to. These social media icons are linked to the Giving Tuesday New Mexico social media. And then everything else, the resources, Amanda and I are constantly keeping this updated. So the toolkit is there. If we end up making any updates to the toolkit, we will have when it was last updated here, so you know. So right now it's the most current version. It's been updated from last year, so if you don't have it, click and get it. A donation tracking spreadsheet, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's an Excel spreadsheet with just the columns sort of pre-populated for you to fill out. And it's just there as a tool for you if you need it, if you want it, use it. The Unselfie Template, the information slides that we just went through today. It's a slightly shorter version because that was a really large file, so I had to delete a few of the slides. But the substantive information is there. Facebook Live slides, those are from the Facebook Live info session that Amanda ran last month, a couple of weeks ago. And so it's just some information. It's just everything we do, we put it on here for you. We just use it as you like. The newsletters were from last year that were really specific to Giving Tuesday New Mexico participants. So they're there for you. We'll start adding new ones as we start sending more communication out. And so this is a list of all the nonprofits who have currently signed up for 2017. And so these links go to their websites. They collect their own dollars however they choose. We are promoting Giving Tuesday New Mexico, directing people to this page to find the list of participants. The big pink elephant around Giving Tuesday New Mexico is, I think I have to say it, is that it's a day of giving, but donors can give any day that they want. It doesn't really matter, right? You want people to give any day, give whenever you want. Yeah, we want to give to you on Giving, you're doing Giving Tuesday New Mexico, we want to give to you. Okay, but if you're putting in the effort as the nonprofit to run the campaign, inform them why you're doing it so that way you meet your goals. Because they might say, well, what difference does it make if I give to you on November 29th or November 26th? Tell them why it matters to you. Tell them why, I mean, you're putting in this effort to run a really specific campaign. You're trying to accomplish some new goal. Yes, they can give any day of the week, and we will happily take their generous gifts any day. But there's something really exciting about being a part of this initiative here in New Mexico, here in Albuquerque, around the state, around the country. There are so many initiatives going on around the country and around the world. It's really fun to be a part of. So if you haven't run a campaign before and you choose to do it this year, sign up, get your name listed here. Feel free to contact me or Amanda if you have more questions. But we're going to direct you to the website. The tools are there. This is really, it's a campaign for your organization, and we're here to promote the work of the entire state. So don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions, we will be here after to answer them. Are there any questions left on Facebook? All right, so thank you all for being here.